Hello everyone, it's the FarmSim guy here, hope you're all doing well. Today we are having a look at Edgewater Sask from South Sask Modding and BCBuhler. Now if you remember, I did a tour of this map way back when, in around about April of 2022 when it first came out. Well, it has been in the works ever since, and this version 2 is something else. I am really impressed with it. So we're going to have a quick look around it. We're going to show you all the main parts of it, some interesting stuff like new crops, and also new ways of combining or harvesting the crops. So, without further ado, let's jump into it. Now, before we jump into the PDA and a few other things, I just wanted to point out what a beautifully landscaped and modelled map this is. It feels really detailed, and I've always said this is something that's really close to my heart. If I find a map that has character and got a personality and feels real, then I'm sold straight away. So this is one of those maps. The time and effort that's gone into the detailing is out of this world. And you'll see, actually, when we look at the PDA, just what a unique map this is. So there we go. We jump into the PDA, and as you can see, it is, like I said before, unique. I can't think of another map that we have that has fields that are as bizarrely and crazily shaped as this. Now, this, of course, is authentic to the area, but it's really nice to see that. It's nice to see variety. If all we had was square fields, that would be very boring. So, for me, this is fantastic and adds another kind of dimension to the gameplay as well. Now, I get that not everybody likes wonky shaped fields and some people like their square fields, but for me this works. This is something that will kind of capture my imagination and keep me probably playing this map for quite a while. So if you start in new farmer mode, this is the areas you get. So you get one very big field in field 1 and you get your farm area, which is here. Now what's nice about this is that all the farm areas, and they can be kind of identified by the roads and the kind of layout or the cutout of the landscaping, is you can see where they belong. So we'll go and have a look at a few of these. Obviously up here we've got two, I would say, commercial areas, let's call them that, maybe 3 if you include what's going on down here as well, and we'll go and have a look at those as well. But that's where all your buy points, sell points and productions are. So again, you can buy that area should you so wish. But yes, if you start in new farmer mode, this is what you see. Now, something else you might have noticed as well is some strange colours on the PDA there as well. So, one of the things that has come along with this map is 3 new crops. They are flax, peas, and lentils. Now, you can see down the right-hand side here, even the icons, they've made a great effort to make them fit in with the base game icons, which I like. Nice little bit of attention to detail there. I've got to appreciate that. But they can be combined as normal with normal combine headers. So if I jump into the shop, so if we jump into the headers, normal combine headers here, you can see any one of these ordinary headers here, and you can see the 3 icons. There's flax, peas, and lentils. So no specialist equipment, no exotic mods that you need to go and find and download. You can just harvest these new crops straight out of the box, which is really good to see. In regard to precision farming as well, they've gone to the effort of making their own custom soil map, which looks very good and should give you a lot of variety in your yields of your crops as you work through them as well. So, very nice. In addition as well, we have got a custom crop calendar. Now, they have said that there is a lot of snow on this map, which would be appropriate for where it is in the world, but it also gives you a very narrow planting window at the start of the season as late as May, and then obviously a slightly broader harvesting season through August to November. But be warned, if you don't get your stuff in the ground quickly, it's going to be a long year. Nice to see. Now, when we look at productions, there aren't many on the map, which is okay. We've got a spinnery, we've got a sawmill, bakery, the dairy, and the grain mill. Now, of course, you have available all of them to you in the store, so you can purchase any more should you wish. But I'm okay with the fact that there's not all of the productions on the map. I've said this before, if it feels appropriate to have all of the productions on the map, great, but sometimes to shoehorn them all in, if it's not appropriate for the map, I think is fine to leave some of them out and leave you with the flexibility to play it how you want. In terms of buy points now, we have got the seed shed where you can buy obviously seed, same for fertilizer and chemicals as well for your herbicides and things like that. At the top of the map here, we have a gas station, and then there are 3 community wells or water wells that you can fill up from around the map, which is quite a nice touch as well. Not seen that done that way before. In terms of sell points or tipping stations, we have got quite a few. We've got Northern Mill up here. We've got Johnson's Farmers Market, the debris crusher for your rocks, fast food restaurant, then down here, got the Red Marble Bowling Restaurant, Livestock Bale Auction, Grain West, Grain Pool East. Just hidden behind Grain Pool East here, we've got Edgewater Grain, we've got Larry's Bale Shipping, we've got Brenda's Fresh Produce, and we have the train, which will allow you to load up and ship off to another map, or Saskatoon, Saskatchewan, which I guess is the main town, where you can sell them off map. So it doesn't go to another map, my apologies, it just goes to a off map sell point. In addition to all of those, you can also, I'll click on it down here and buy this small area, and we'll jump to this. When you buy land, there are many grain bins lying around the map that you can use to store your crops in until the point that you want to sell them as well. So you have to buy them. And it's the same with all of the areas of the map with buildings on. If you haven't bought that area, you cannot open the doors or use those buildings until you've purchased them. But lots and lots of grain bins around the map, dotted around the map for you to purchase and use should you so wish. Right, without further ado, we are going to find ourselves a truck and we are going to take a tour around the map, get a feel for it, get absorbed into the atmosphere of it, check out some of the farm spaces, and generally show you around. So, let's get into it. Right, we are starting down in the bottom left-hand corner, and this is the store point. As you can see, the base game shops here, but actually not a bad amount of space. You could store a lot of machinery and things here, which is good. So let's roll out of here. Straight across the road there is your animal dealer, and again, just visually looking across the road there, how nice does that look? It has been, the landscaping and the detail has been really nicely done throughout this entire map. I'm really impressed with it, I have to say. So let's pull onto the road. Lots of custom traffic as well. It's a busy little bustling town, which is nice to see. We'll roll down here. This is one of the major grain sell points, and again a few base game elements as well, but really nice detail around it as well. Lots and lots of little extras and things thrown in to make it feel really unique. I like that a lot. And we'll head on through here. You can see as well there is our seed and fertilizer buy points that we talked about on the map before. And if we just head up here as well, on this side, that is your herbicide and liquid fertilizer buy point as well. These are actually mods from BCBuhler already, I believe, so nice to see those in the map. So we carried on round the bottom of that road, crossed the railway there, and we carried around the bottom of the road. There again is the mill for dropping off your grain if you want to convert it to flour. And again, just coming along this road here, look at this, coming up this stop sign with the farm in the distance, and just the detail, really nicely done. I am impressed with the level of quality of finish on this, I really am. Beautifully done. In fact, what we'll do, we'll head over the road there, we'll go and have a look at that farm. So the road winds round there, we're going to go this way, which looks like we're leading down to some fields and a level crossing there again, but if we turn down here, we've got a sell point down here. But loving, yeah, just the quality of the detail of the finishing, so nicely done. So this is actually Larry's bale sell point. So that's where you can sell bales. But equally, a couple of nice houses down here as well. Now if we just walk up here, I've just jumped out of the truck, just walk up here to the railway line, just make sure the train's not coming. Even over the road there you've got a nice little area, picnic area, and just detail, little elements around the map which are really, really nicely done. So this is a little patch of, I guess, sell points and parts of the map that are integrated into the kind of road network. If you go back to the map here and go to the buy point, if I click on these, they're kind of incorporated with what you've got in the two commercial areas as well. So those little details where you can tip or sell stuff, but really integrated into the map, not just plonked down in a square, which is really nice to see. So if we head down here a little bit further, this is where you can request your train. So there we go, we've hit the R button, we've requested our train, we shall wait for it to arrive. This is only 600 meters away, so we'll keep an eye open for it, because I want you to see this. They've gone to the effort of really customizing the train as well, which is great. And here it is. I should probably not stand there. But as you can see, two engines on the front there. Canadian Railways. And it's quite a big train as well. So as well as the two engines, we have got, I believe it is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 carriages. But as you can see, Saskatchewan and Canada painted on the sides. Big storage bins for grain and the like. So lots of ability there to load this up with a really large amount of crop and get it sold off map, like I said. Right, we'll leave him there for now. We're just going to head on a little bit further. There's a final sell point down here, which is fresh produce. Again, the detail and the effort that's gone into this is really nice. Look at that, fantastic. And there's your tipping point for that. Lovely. Right, just to give you your bearings, we are right down at the bottom of the map here. So what we'll do, we'll kind of go up and around in a clockwise motion, end up at the top here. We'll grab some of these just off the beaten track as we go, but we'll work our way through some of these farmyards and drive through some of the fields as well for you. Right, so here we are arriving back at one of the main roads. As you can see ahead, the fields are big fields. They aren't small, although they kind of have this ability to feel a little bit smaller than they are, due to the amount of creeks, rivers, streams, lakes, ponds, whatever you want to call them, flowing through them. It does break them up a little bit, and it does make for a really interesting map. Now, obviously you can landscape those out if you want to, and make them all one big field, but for me, I would leave them as they are, because they feel like they belong and are in keeping with the map. Now, one of the big things with the first version of this map was it wasn't particularly Courseplay friendly, and I'm looking at these fences alongside some of these fields, and I'm wondering if Courseplay may struggle with some of these fields. We will do a test, but you don't know. And actually, South Sask have said it's not a mod they use, so they wouldn't know. But again, you can adjust the field edges in Courseplay as well, so I'm sure there's a way around it if there is an issue. But there we go. Right, we are on our first farm. Let's have a look around here. So these, again, these half sheds are in keeping with the area as well. You've got a slightly bigger grain bin set up there. Some of these look like base game buildings. Certainly that one does, and I know it's probably not usable. Now, as I said before, you need to be able to buy the land before you can use the building. So here's a good test. Is this one of the base game ones? That is not openable, but if I run over here, these ones are now. Nicely done. Look at the size of that. Beautiful shed. That's actually something worth noting as well. These sheds are all available as placeables within the map. So they come with the map, which is great to see. Really impressed with that. And equally, you can demolish these if you want to. So if you're not happy with the farm layout, you are able to get rid of them. Those two you can't because they are base game ones, but 3 that have been placed, if you want to get rid of them and redesign your farm, you are welcome to. Right, back out on the road. I just want to head down here before we head off somewhere else because I want to show you just a couple of things. In fact, let's head down here first. There are the 3 bins that I highlighted and bought before, so you can see just placed in the middle of the field there. So again, if you want additional storage, or you don't have storage on your farm or where you've set things up, there's a nice place to buy and store your grain. And like I said, there are a few of those dotted around the map. You can see the subtle undulations in the fields as well, which is quite nice. It's not completely pan flat, but again, just lovely detail. Fantastic. Now, the other thing I wanted to show you just here as well, head over the cattle grid, is one of the community water points. So there are 3 of these on the map, so if you need water for your animals, you can just head to one of these and purchase it. You can also place more of those, actually. They're in the placeable section as well, so if you want to add a few more of those to the map, you can do that. Again, just to give you your bearings, we are right down in this bottom corner. There are the grain bins we just went to see, and there's the water point. So what we're going to do now, we're going to head out to the main road, head up here, we'll take a look at this farm, and we'll take a look at this farm here. Right, back to the main road here. And by the way, anybody asking about this Tahoe that I'm driving, this was one of the Christmas releases from Ben Camper, who does some cracking trucks, so I'll leave a link for that in the description as well, and you can go and check him out. Right, here is another spot. We've got a nice farmhouse and a garage there, and then we can head down here. More of the small grain bins. We've got a nice size storage shed for machinery, slightly smaller than the other one, and then one of these half sheds. I don't know what they're called, but they obviously are common to this area. So again, lots of space for you to be able to do your own thing as well, which I think is great. And again, the landscaping around them is outstanding. So we'll head down here, a little lake there as well, or pond. And again, just looking over the map, look at that. You can see the other farms and the other detail. There's the farm we were just at. It's just really nicely put together map. Right, we're waiting. Crikey, we'll be here all day if we wait. Let's see if we can sneak out in front of this van without causing too much hassle. Right, let's head up here and into here, which is another farm. Long driveway down to this farm. Right, here we are on the left. Got another nice farmhouse. Sheds, bins, again slightly smaller but just laid out really nicely. Again, lots of decisions to be made as to where your start farm is when you arrive on this map, as I imagine quite a lot of us are going to be. And it's going to be for all platforms, I should mention that. So often with these really detailed maps with additional crops and things like that, they are PC only, so nice to see this coming, hopefully, fingers crossed, to all platforms. We know it's in testing with Giants at the moment, so everything crossed that it makes the cut. But like I said, it feels incredibly finished and incredibly polished already, so hopefully we've not too long to wait. So again, just for clarity, we have looked at these 3 farms here, and we are at this junction here. So what we'll do, we'll actually head along and have a look at this one, because it's probably the last one on this side, before we head up, look at the starter farm, and there's another farm or 2 up here that we can have a look at as well. We've got a gap in the traffic, we're going to take it. So we'll head along here, again, slightly more open and flat here. Nice wider road, but again, you can see there, that field there, very small. Nice to see a little field, so 16 there. Nice small field, but then you look at things like 8 and 5. Huge fields. What is that from an acres perspective? There you go, 40 acres. And nearly 500,000 in price. And then the one we're just looking at there, just a 26,000. So you have got flexibility depending on how much money you've got to decide what you do or build up from a low point if you want to. Right, here we are. Entrance to, I think, probably one of the bigger farms. Just run over the creek here. Again, just nice little touches. Little small bungalow house there. This is where you have got animals. So this is the actual, I think the only farm on the map that has a cow barn and a pasture. But again, grain bins and a shed, and I guess the flexibility to add a few more things in here or do what you want to make it yours. But if you want to run animals, this is probably the farm for you. Lovely pasture as well, really fitted into the map. Again, not a fan of it when you just plonk a square pasture down in the middle of an area. It just looks a little bit unrealistic for me, so great to see that. Very nice. Right, heading back to the main road here. I have to say, for a standard size map, it feels really big. Just that sense of scale is really nice. I'm impressed. It's amazing how something the same size as a different map can feel so completely different. Right, let's pull in here. There's a little area in here. I wouldn't call this a farm, but there's a little bit of space here for a house. Maybe you could utilise and level some of this grassland here. Maybe level this creek and get a small shed in there. And there's a lot of waste ground behind the house here that could be utilised for something as well. So again, the flexibility to do a little bit more with the space if you wanted to buy this, which is quite cool. Right, let's head back out and up to the starter farm. And there's a nice little detail, as you can see, just the rises in the road as you go up and down. Look at that. Very nicely done. Right, I'm turning. And if you start your game in new farmer mode, this is the field you get. And just along here is your farm. So there we go. More sheds, more bins. You've got all your equipment here as well. And a very nice farmhouse, just slightly raised and away from the farm. Now we do own this because this is what you get when you start. So again, you can see all the machinery that you get when you first arrive. Obviously all base game equipment. So your John Deere, Rostelmash, Massey. You've got a couple of fertilizer spreaders there. It's like a big seeder or planter. I did see there was a New Holland combine hidden over here in the shed. You've got a couple of augers there to help you with your bins as well. So it's been well thought out in terms of making sure you've got the equipment to use all the sheds. But there's your combine and your truck. And you've got your combine header here and then a big disc over here as well. But again, this is the stuff that I really enjoy in maps, is the ability to have stuff lying around on the farm. This is so common on every farm in the world that I think it's a really nice touch. And when this stuff's missing, it doesn't feel as lived in. So very nice indeed. Like that a lot. So that is your starter farm. Right, let's run back to the main road here. And we have got, I guess, one last large farm to look at. And a slightly secondary, smaller space. But both worth looking at and both definite considerations when you start playing. Again, rolling slightly more hilly here, which is quite nice as you get to the top of the map. But let's pull in here. Here's your farmhouse. Slightly separate to the rest of the farm, which I've done a brilliant job of going in the wrong entrance, but probably the biggest bin setup on the map from a farm perspective anyway. Nice meridian bin setup. That large barn that we saw down at one of the other farms as well is back. So again, probably designed for a slightly bigger arable operation here. All the rubbish around the back of the shed, they're very nice to see. So that's great. Now just along next to it, if we just pop back out to the road here, make sure there's no traffic. I don't think any traffic comes along these secondary roads, but always got to be sure. If you run into here, there's another driveway, again separate, so not part of the same block, that has a nice little setup as well. You've got your house there, or a garage at least, with some grain bins and another shed. No house here actually, so again you could incorporate it as part of that other farm, or you could use it as a slightly smaller small holding that you've just purchased. But again, looking over there, look at the detail. It's just really beautifully put together, and I'm highly impressed with it, I've got to say. Brilliant work. Right, we're back on the main road here, and we are rolling up to the very top of the map. What we'll do, we'll just take this turn here, because this is the road that runs us down to the other commercial area, slightly smaller commercial area at the top of the map. As you can see, we've got a lot more undulations at this end of the map than we have at the other. And it's just got character. I like it. There's another little area where a house that you could purchase, should you so wish. But again, just lots and lots of really, really good detail, even just the road signs, and so much of this has been well thought through, even the steep hill sign there. And here we go, heading back down to this road. We are right at the edge of the map here, as you can see by the red crosses. Again, rolling around here. And down we've got our sell points. There's the debris crusher that we talked about before. A few roadworks going on here. Again, some lovely detail. Laundromat, fire station, so some of the base game elements here. There's the gas station from the base game as well. There's a couple of turnings just off here, so let's find out what those are. There you go. I believe that is your spinnery and your farmer's market. So again, a couple of productions that you can buy. And over the other side of the road, I think this is your other grain sell point. Well, there's the mill there, and a sell point as well, so there you go. And we can actually pop out here, that's quite nice as well. You haven't just got one route in or out as well, which is quite good. And we can turn down here, back into the element of the town. A really small field here as well, which is nice. Look at that, tiny field. Field 26 there. Love it. Okay. Roll back in here. There's the toy store. Cody's toy store. Wonder if they sell tractors. And back to the roadworks. And then we are back out. And we are heading back down to the other commercial area. I jump back to the map quickly. We've got this long run all the way back down to where we started out down here. So let's run our way down there and give you our final impressions of the map, which I have to say I absolutely love. I'm really impressed with it. It's been a real joy to look around. It's got character, it's got atmosphere, it's got quirky fields, there's just so much going on. It's going to hold people's attention, I think, and for that I'm really impressed. Now, Just before we go, I promised I would do a little Courseplay test and see if any of these fields were going to cause us any trouble. So I'm going to actively choose one that looks like it could be a challenge, and we'll take things from there just before we close off. Right, so we are in the Courseplay menu here. It has picked up field 13 rather nicely there. We'll do a course generation. Let's do 3 headlands. Everything else should be fine. We'll generate that. Now, the only challenge with these fields is some of the tight turns on them. So if I go back to here, this one's not so bad, but some of these corner pieces may cause issues. But that has calculated that course very quickly. So let's just hit go and see what happens. Obviously, do it from the right place, but off it goes. It's along the fences that makes me slightly nervous. Like I said, looks like there's a slight issue there in terms of how that works, but I've got an idea. I had smooth turns on there, I wonder. Now I'm going to reset the course here, and I'm going to put headland corners on to sharp. Let's give that a go, because that could make the difference on these edges. The course will almost be identical. It will be identical, but we may get these corners in. Let's give it a go. So there we go. We're obviously going to cut a little bit that we've already done, just to do this test, really. If I move around to here, we should be able to, let's hide the Courseplay menu, we should be able to see if it's going to work out what's what here. Obviously it's getting a little bit stuck on the and again it's got stuck. The fence is too close, but that's okay. The other option you've got here at the bottom is to bring in your field margins. So negatively increases the field size, or you can make it positive, which will bring in the edge of the course. So let's try it at 2, shall we? Everything else is the same. Generate fieldwork course. Let's give it another go. As you can see, the combine's slightly inside, so you will leave some crop on the field. And there you go. It's stopping a little bit earlier. And it should cut into this corner now, and we should, fingers crossed, avoid any issues. I want it to just kind of cut in at this edge, because I want to see how much crop we've left on the field. So there might be a little bit of trial and error to avoid kind of leaving too much crop on the field, but also maximising what you can do with Courseplay. So 2, where I brought in the field margin of 2, might be too much. There might be an element of doing it a little bit less than that. And I'm not saying that every field's going to be like this. I think certainly some of them will be fine. Just certainly ones with the fences up close can cause a few issues. And it's not something that's unique to this map either. It can happen on a lot of other maps as well. I've had a few issues on Bally Spring recently as well. Now you see, by bringing in the field margin, I am losing that crop around the edge. So we could maybe pull things out a little bit. But it looks like we've resolved that issue with Courseplay getting too close to the fences. So, the other option, of course, is you put it on multiplayer and you get your mates to come and help you, and then you don't need Courseplay. Simple as that. There's always a solution. It's always a solution. Right. There you go. I promised I would look at that. Of course, something that I'm a user of Courseplay, so I wanted to check that too. But all good. There's a solution. There's a workaround. Now, the other thing I quickly wanted to talk about was new ways of harvesting crops using Swather and Pickup. Now, if you remember this pack, the Swather pack from BCBuhler, which really up until now has been a mower pack, now has this ability to swath your crops. Now, I am not completely au fait with the way this works in the UK. Coming from the UK, it's not an approach that we tend to use, I don't think. Anyway, I'm sure somebody will correct me in the comments. but those of you who maybe do this over in the States or elsewhere in the world might be able to help me out. But as far as I believe, it gives you the ability to cut the crops and let them dry on the ground rather than maybe being impacted by the weather or something else further down the line. So I'd be interested to know a little bit more about this. But basically what you do is you cut the whole crop, including all the grains, and they lie on the ground in a swath, as we're doing here. We're actually using this in flax at the moment, so we're using one of the new crops as well, which is quite nice to give a go to. Now if I stop here and jump out, you can see there is our nice swath on the ground. And if I go and jump into the combine over here, which has got a special header on it, we should be able to pick this up and separate the grain from the rest of the crop. So there you go, there is the pickup header. This is not out yet, but I am pretty convinced that this will come out at the same time as the map. But there it is up here at the far end here. Lots of customization on this, all the main brands. So you've got a couple of case ones there, New Holland, John Deere, for all the different combine types as well, right up to the X9 there. Class as well, Ideal, Massey, Class Yellow, CNH, McDon, and back to case. So lots of options there, and again, a few little crop catcher options as well. But a nice tool, again, some lovely work from BCBuhler. We jump into our combine though, and just treat it like a normal header. Unfold the combine. Power things up. Drop the header down. We will have access when we go into the field. You can see now, if I turn it around, it's picking up the flax, depositing dust in the background. Now I should be able to turn on the windrow as well at the back, and there we go, the swath comes out at the back without the crop in it. And as you can see, the combine is filling up with the flax crop as well. And again, different texture. So if you look at that, that's just a straw texture, and it's slightly darker than the lighter texture here, and you can see the crop in it. So even that kind of attention to detail is really, really nice. I love that. So just a new way of picking up crops, which again is nice to include different ways of doing things. Love that variety. So there you have it. Edgewater Sask. What a great map. This is going to be really, really popular when it comes out, I think. I'm really taken with this. I can see myself spending a nice bit of time on here. So thank you very much to South Sask Modding and BCBuhler for allowing me to show you this ahead of it coming out. And if it's the sort of thing that you like, get hyped, because it's coming very soon. Okay, from me for now, thanks for watching, take care, bye for now.